is up, everybody? You know what time it is. Welcome back to the channel, Ace's Place 22, where I'm Ace, and this is my Place 22, and I'm always excited, but this one's a little bit more special. This is a little bit of a different video, as you've read by the title, as you've seen by the thumbnail. This is a true creature double feature, because not only are you guys getting Ace's Thrills and Chills Night 23 of movie reviews, where I'm going to be talking about one specific movie this time, not what I've been watching all night long, just one movie, and we're going to be getting a toy review at the same time. What? That's crazy. So this is truly a double creature feature. And in the movie, again, you saw it in the thumbnail, you saw it in the title, so I clicked on it, other than my face. But we are going to be talking about the 1981 classic horror werewolf movie that is The Howling. This one right here. Not The Fog, but The Howling. Super excited. And not only, like I said, are we going to be talking about our movie, but I went out today while I was at work, did my local toy hunting for myself, of course, and what did I find? Well, there's a video on my channel that'll talk about the specifics of that a little bit more, but the thing we're here to talk about right now is not only the Howling movie, but the NECA's The Howling Ultimate Werewolf Action Figure. Imagine your worst fears a reality. Now, I am a huge werewolf fan. Like, I'm not saying I'm an expert. Not saying I've seen every werewolf movie that there is, but it's definitely the monster I would choose out of all of them. It's the werewolf. I think he's just I'll do a review of the original werewolf movie. I've only ever seen it maybe like 3 times in my entire life, and it was when it was on like TV during like Halloween season, way back when I was a little kid. I haven't seen it in 20 plus years, but I would love to see the Lon Chaney original werewolf movie again and do a review on that. But we're not here for that. We're here for this, The Howling. I don't even know where to begin. Other than liking and subscribing. Thank you so much. But yeah, this, as I said, it came out in 1981. A lot of people consider this, and I say a lot of people, but I do mean a lot of horror movie enthusiasts and what have you. They believe or say that The Howling is the second greatest horror movie, or, I apologize, is the second greatest werewolf horror movie of all time. Coming in right behind American Werewolf in London. Now, I have both of the movies. I own a lot of werewolf movies. But I'm in a minority where my personal favorite werewolf movie is Silver Bullet, Stephen King adaptation. I just think Silver Bullet's just fantastic. Yeah, the werewolf's a little, like, much kind of like a bear at the end. But it's still a werewolf to me. Like, it's still, like, it just, who cares? American Werewolf in London is definitely a classic. I remember being a very little kid and watching that movie and just being like, oh, this is, like, scary. And I didn't understand that it was, like, kind of, like, dark humor in a way until I've gotten older and rewatched it. It's a fantastic film. It does have one of the greatest werewolf transformation scenes. I don't know if it's the greatest. I'm not, again, an expert on that. But American Werewolf in London has one of the best werewolf transformations for sure out of any werewolf movie. It's really, really good. And why I'm mentioning that specifically is because we're going to be talking about transformations in The Howling. So let's get into it. I have 2 copies of this movie. One, it's on a double feature with the original Child's Play. Can't go wrong there. Why is it on the original, or why is it in this kind of a double feature? I'm not sure. I think there were distributing rights and they couldn't make the movies like solo in their own DVD feature, so they put it together. Didn't hurt me at the time because when I bought this, I didn't have either movie in my horror filmography. But since then, I have upgraded, got a Blu-ray. I have Child's Play on its own DVD. And then, as I showed off previously, here is The Howling on Blu-ray with an awesome edition of The Fog. Not one of the scariest movies ever made, but definitely one that'll give you a couple of chills. The Fog is really fun. I dig that movie quite a bit. John Carpenter's The Fog, I should say, because John Carpenter, he is probably, I don't know if he's the reason I got into horror movies, but John Carpenter is definitely one of the reasons I've maintained my horror fandom. So The Howling, let's talk about it in its spoilery review. This movie, I'll try to do the best I can with making the story make sense, because it is a little choppy at times if you're actually watching the film, to where it's like nothing is directly told to you unless you see it physically on screen. So there is a lot of assumptions and things of that nature in it. So I'll do my best to interpret it how I see it. If you've seen the movie and you think differently, definitely shoot off in the comments below. Let's have that discussion. I'm all about it. So The Howling, it centers around, I don't know the characters' names. I apologize. So I will do what I can to fucking make it work. But I know Dee Wallace is the main chick in it. You might recognize her from the new Rob Zombie Halloween. She's in a couple of Rob Zombie's movies. I am drawing a complete blank on what else she's in. Very recognizable woman. She's the main chick in it. She is a news reporter, news anchor. And she is being stalked by a serial killer. And so her and the news team set up a plan to, like it's a sting, to set this guy up so they can catch him and also, you know, make news out of it. In doing so, she goes to like a XXX kind of adult shop where you can go into a booth and put a quarter in and watch a show. And as she's doing that, the serial killer is in that room with her. And they do a lot of really good effects of like keeping the lighting off of his face so you can't directly see like what's going on. I like that a lot because it does add into like the, you know. They are limited in a way with werewolf stuff. I'll speak on that in a minute. So whatever they can do to add instead of like, I don't even know how I'm trying to say that. Like to work with what you have instead of trying to go too hard. I appreciated that. It adds a creepy element to it when you know you're watching a monster movie but there's two humans talking. It sometimes is hard to be like, well, I'm not really scared of the human. I'm here for the monster. It's nice that they could make the human scary. I dig that. So much appreciated. Sting kind of falls through. They shoot the guy. They think they kill him. They bring the body back to the morgue. The woman is under a bunch of this stress now, and her and her husband start to go to therapy, and the therapist suggests, or mostly the wife goes to therapy. He suggests, hey, I have this, you know, outreach program up on this mountain. There's a bunch of other people like you that have been victimized. Why don't you come up there? You might find comfort in it, yada, yada. So her and her husband go up there. And it is this, they don't outwardly make it seem like it, but it definitely has a vibe of like, all right, this is weird. But there's nice people there. There's nice intentions there. Nice enough intentions there, I should say, to make you fall under this like idea that, oh, all right, nothing's weird here. Like everything is normal. All while two other people that are in the movie that are friends with the main cast, they are basically doing an investigation on the person that tried to, you know, is the serial killer. As they're doing that, it leads them to the morgue where they come to find that like the body has disappeared, and now they're going off on this crazy tangent of like, well, werewolves are crazy, but like, could this be a werewolf? Like, you know, we're hearing all these stupid stories and blah, blah, blah. The woman of the group, she goes off on her own and encounters the werewolf in, what are they? I think she stumbles upon someone's shed, and it has all these pictures in it of like sketches, news clippings, pictures of the woman. So she knows she stumbled onto the right place with, this has got to be the guy that's been, killing everybody and what have you. And as she's doing that, something starts rattling at the door, trying to break in, starts to chase her. You do see little glimpses of the werewolf. This is one of the first times you really get to see the wolf at it, at this time in the movie. Chasing her through. You get to see, again, glimpses of it. She ends up hacking this thing's arm off. And at me as a viewer, I'm like, oh, okay, so now when they show a human person and they're missing their arm, I'm going to know that's the werewolf, right? Like, bada bing, a la Silver Bullet with, yeah. So, pretty cool stuff. I always find it kind of creepy and scary. Not scared, but definitely like, oh, fuck, like, what would you do? And it's really cool effects, too, when she cuts the thing's arm off, because it looks pretty legit. You get to see all the meat and everything like that. And then it does like this weird like fold over itself and flip back. And then you see it bubbling and it mutates from like werewolf hand to human hand, letting the woman know, oh my God, there really are werewolves. Like, holy shit, I have to get out of here and go call my husband and let him know. So then we're back with the main characters of the traumatized woman and her husband, where they're up on this retreat in the mountains, and I forget how it all works out, but there's a woman named Marcia. I think her name is Marcia. And this one right here, actually. This broad right there. She corrupts, no, I don't want to say corrupts, but seduces. That's the word I'm looking for. She seduces the husband, and they end up doing the dirty out in the woods. And there's a really strange animation scene. I say strange, but in all honesty, when you're watching these old 80s movies, it seems like it's on for the par. Like, it seems pretty on the nose, not on the nose, but like on point for there to be weird stuff. Like, now I know it wasn't intentional. I don't think. It was probably budget concerns. But, I like it. I've always thought it was a cool scene. Just, I might be the only one, but I do. I think it's a pretty cool scene of like this animated werewolf, of them doing it in the moonlight and a fire and stuff. I just think it's kind of cool looking, and it just makes me feel like a kid again. I don't know. Can't explain it. She basically has turned him into a werewolf at this point. Not basically, you kind of see it, but he doesn't ever act out. Like, there's never any acting out of these werewolves trying to kill anybody other than the one that just got his arm chopped off. So, like, the husband doesn't ever, like, start to transform into a werewolf and try to kill his wife. It's a very slow burn movie. And I mean slow burn. And then I believe, the wife and the husband, they're going through their thing. She finds out he cheated, and then he is kind of an ass to her, but not as a werewolf, just as a normal person. And then we jump back to the other husband and wife doing the investigation of, do werewolves even exist? And, well,
TC. Oh, Christopher. It's it.
And yeah, that's like the actual first scene right there where we get a full-on glimpse of the werewolf. Now, it is not the same one that cut her arm off, or she cut the arm off of previously. There are multiple werewolves in this flick. It is, and this is where I'm going to talk about the limitation. They were definitely limited to the amount of werewolf costume they could do. I think they only probably had maybe one, because in the whole movie, you never see two werewolves on screen at the same time, I don't believe. They had masks and gloves and feet coverings probably and stuff, because you do see a lot of that in shots. But in that specific scene, that is the first time, we get to see a werewolf straight up murder somebody. It's pretty tamed, honestly. I'm very, very shocked with how tamed it is. The werewolf honestly just kind of bites into her like a vampire, and we see very little blood. So it's not a super gory, graphic movie. I think because it came out in the 80s, it was more of like a shock and awe. Like, ooh, oh, this is scary. There's nothing like this. But now, if that wolf would have bit into her neck, we would have seen like the tendons rip out and and all that good jazz. You know what I mean? Something like that. It's pretty great, though. I do enjoy it. The werewolf has a very, very unique look to it. It's very creepy. You know what? Might as well just show this here. We're not going to open it right this second. But there is the werewolf. This design is pretty damn gnarly. It's big. It's lurking. It's super hairy. It's very, very, very tall and absolutely menacing. I like the werewolf a lot. I think the design is very cool. There is a transformation scene. I was going to set it up to play it, but I'm just too lazy. I don't care now. There is a transformation scene where we see the main, serial killer from the beginning. He comes back, and it's just so graphic and detailed and brutal looking of a transformation, and they do these quick cuts and great effects. It's really, really a good werewolf transformation. It goes on a bit too long. It's got to be at least a 5-minute transformation. And in that time, the victim has plenty of time to get away. That's my thought on that. But it's pretty cool because she throws acid in the werewolf's face. So when you see it again later on, the guy is like stuck between human transformation, werewolf transformation, and then the acid. So it's a really cool effect. I dig it quite a bit. And through all this, like I said, the woman, she tries to get away, but she ends up getting captured by the people that were in that retreat for, victims. And this is where we find out that everybody that was involved in that is actually a werewolf themselves. Now, they don't show everybody transforming, but they do show them with, like, fangs and long nails to allude, like, oh, yeah, these are monsters. They try to get rid of the woman, but they realize they can't because she's a public, not a public official, but she's in the public eye because she's a news anchor. So they set up a plan. The therapist guy isn't into it at all, which they turn on him. And I think that was really cool because it shows, I think he's a werewolf. They don't outrightly say it, but there is a moment I'll get to in a second where it kind of hints at it. And I just like the idea that he was trying to coexist and not so much be monsters like the rest of them want to be. It's just food for thought to take away from this film, if nothing else. I thought that was pretty cool. And then she's captured. The husband of the other woman that got killed by the big werewolf, he comes in, with silver bullets to, kill off the werewolves. And so he starts picking them off one by one and saves her. And in doing that, the therapist comes out and confronts him, and he starts to kind of like growl and what have you. And the man shoots him. And this is a part that I thought was like, oh. The therapist kind of looks at him and he's just like, oh, thank goodness. And then dies. Which, to me, again, I think the therapist was a werewolf. And his only way out was knowing that, like, all right, this guy's going to kill us. I don't want to die like the rest of them. I'm just going to, like, let him shoot me and I'll die. Because he was tired of being a wolf. And I just thought that was, again, food for thought. It's a cool idea. The rest of them, though, it's pretty silly, the acting in it. Again, if I didn't mention it before, the acting in it is pretty silly and kind of comedic when all of the werewolf villagers are like hissing at the camera and stuff. To me, it very much reminds me of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Love that movie, but it's a cartoon, and this felt that way. Not a great punch up, It's kind of more of like just a walk in the straight line. I dig it. It goes with the atmosphere, but it's still like, meh. They get pushed into a barn. all the werewolves get pushed into this barn and then lit on fire. You see them freaking out and transforming and busting through the walls and blah, 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 blah. The human folk get away. Wrap it up this way. The human folk get away. The werewolves, they do show 3 of them at once, but they're like stop motion. And it's through like fog and stuff to kind of show you that there are some werewolves that did survive it. And then the woman, her and the other guy, they work for the news anchor or the news channel. They're going to tell their story on the news in an appropriate manner, but they change things on the fly. She is confessing there's a group out there of werewolves that want to basically kill everybody. And the way she can prove it is by transforming into a werewolf because she got turned on live TV, which I think is an absolutely amazing ending. It basically is the ending, but I think it's an amazing way to end that because it shows all the people in the news station reacting to it, right? And then it shows like all these different households or a bar or people at work or wherever they are all watching the news and dismissing it or believing it. And like my favorite one is these 2 guys at a bar and the guy, this is the very, very end of the movie. Or let's go back first. When the woman transforms into a werewolf, it is a very dumb design. I like it when they first show her and she's like leaning over and she's looking into the camera and she's got a tear rolling down her eye. I think that's beautiful. I think that is a beautiful shot. But then they follow it up with like her full transformation and she looks like a kitty. Looks like a little kitty. I do not like it. And then the other guy is there with his gun, silver bullet, puts her down. Kaput to that. But the shot or the scene that I really liked is you have 2 people in a bar and the camera is panning down the bar and the 2 guys are like, oh man, can you believe like anything they'll put on TV or some shit like that? And then the other guy goes, no, that's real. She was turning into a werewolf and they shot her. And the other guy says back to him, man, you're just, you're wasted. And the other fella replies with, doesn't mean it's not true. I love that. I think that's great. I think that's awesome. And then you keep panning down and then they show another barfly in there and he's like, my old lady here, she wants a hamburger. And then it pans over to her and it's that Marsha werewolf woman and setting up for a sequel or sequels. I have never seen any of the other Howling movies. I have no idea how many there are in this franchise. I've only ever seen the first. I dig the first quite a bit. It's a very, very fun werewolf movie. I remember being a kid, going to my local video store and seeing that on VHS. Not being scared of the cover because it looked more like confusing than anything. But eventually when I got around to watching it on TV as a kid, I didn't know it was a werewolf movie. And I was like, oh, this is a fun one. So there you go. I enjoy the movie. I think it is rather fun. It is a little dated, but it is absolutely worth a watch during spooky season, especially if you are a horror movie fan or a werewolf fan or just a fan of anything. If you love everything, then go check it out. But ladies and gentlemen, as I promised, that was the first half of this video for the hell am I calling it? Oh man, Ace's Thrills and Chills Night 23 movie review. But we're going to add in the NECA Howling figure unboxing. Here we go. Well, here we are. You've stuck around this long, and now you get the treat. No tricks, just treats. This bad boy right here is effing awesome. If you just watched the first part of this, you're in for one heck of a time. I can't wait to open this. This is the NECA's Ultimate Werewolf action figure from the Howling, and it is a beautiful, beautiful werewolf, as you can see on the box right there. I don't think it's specific to any of the characters that eventually turn into a werewolf in this film. That sucks that the back of that's a little ripped up. I didn't see that. That's all right. I don't think I'll be keeping the box to this one, just the front here. I usually cut these front pieces off so we can it doesn't matter. We're getting all out of it. Who cares? This distracted me. But this, I don't think it's specific to any of the actual characters that turn into a werewolf. I think this is just the general design of the werewolf in it, which I really, really like a lot. I'm a big werewolf buff, so I kind of have to have a werewolf in my action figure collection. I have a few, so I shouldn't say it like that, but it's time to get a new one. As you can see over there, I have the Lon Chaney's Wolf Man still in box. I have not opened him up yet. I will at some point. But we're going to check this guy out today. Where did I get him? How much did I get him for? And why did I get him? Well, it's pretty simple. Went to Target. They had a deal on NECA figures. There's a whole story behind it, but I'll give you the cliff notes. Buy two, get one free. So I absolutely jumped on that deal. And I picked up 2 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle NECA figures. Check those out tomorrow on the Ace in the Hole Variety Show at 6 p.m. here on YouTube. And then I got this beautiful big bad werewolf for free, essentially. It's kind of how it works out. He is huge. Look at this guy. Absolutely massive. Doesn't come with the most accessories, but since it was basically a free figure, I am not going to complain at all. Like, for real, I'm not going to complain at all. And I might even pop in tomorrow and grab, if certain things are on sale, I might grab a couple of other little things. But this is where it's at. This werewolf is absolutely radical. The accessories he comes with are 6 hands. They all kind of look alike, to be honest with you, so I'm going to be interested to see what they look like up close. You've got 3 different heads. One of them's got the blood all over it. One of them's got his mouth closed, and then one of them does not have blood on it at all. I'm super excited. This guy is huge. I'm just mesmerized. We'll get a little closer look of him in box first. There it is in their stock photo. And I mean, it looks exactly like it does in the movie. The only difference is all of the, the free-forming hair. There we go. You're going to have a bunch of hair split off every which way like he's a big fur ball. Other than that, this is it. There are the faces. Oh, my Lord. Absolutely cool. Are you guys ready for this? This is it. Right here, ladies and gentlemen. To all my subscribers, to everybody that watches any of my toy videos, this is the one right here. As many Ninja Turtle... Oh, of course he'd fall over. As many Ninja Turtle figures... He does stand on his own, though. As many Ninja Turtle figures I get from NECA and any other kind of toy, this guy is it. This guy is absolutely cool. He's not normally supposed to be in this kind of position, but it's too cool not to put him in it. If only he'd stand. Which he was for the longest time. Until I pressed the record button, he was totally on his own. Oh, my Lord. You know what? We're going to cheat. There, he can lean on the barrel. He looks awesome. There we go. Focus on it a little bit. This guy is super cool, super huge, super freaky looking, and honestly, super sharp. I sliced my finger open literally on the back of his fur. He is one pointy boy. And while we got him in this position, we'll take a look at his accessories. We'll look at the weakest stuff first, which are the hands. You get 6 hands, 3 sets. They all are pretty much identical. These ones here are like, I don't even know, honestly. There's none that are like pre-transformation or anything like that. Maybe each of the hands goes with a specific head to make a specific wolf. I haven't the slightest idea. But these two here are very, very lengthy and very skinny hands. There's not going to be much difference between them, but here we go with kind of, again, very skinny hands, long fingers, a little bit of a different color, different shape, not a whole lot going on there. Then the other hands we'll take a look at that are actually on the wolf. And this was the stock head that came on the figure. The mouth cannot move, but you can see through the teeth, so there is some, cool detail there. And it is just the typical, like, mad wolf face, which is nice. Then you get another head, which is, again, no articulation in the jaw. It's just a molded headpiece like this. Very good detail. I mean, those teeth are awesome. They are sharp. All of the jaws are the same, where they are a little off center. You can kind of tell. On all of the heads, they're like that. So it's not, oh, you got a bad one. It's all of them. I don't know what those 2 holes are in the top. Maybe something for the molding, but this is where the ball joint would go, so you can pop out the heads. And now let's look at the big man himself, the big wolf on campus. Now, he is a little stiff to bend because he is so big, and he does have like the click joints, so you can pop him in place, and he shouldn't slide up all out of the different poses you put him in. The one I started us off in was a very odd pose, to say the least. Let's see if we can get him to stand up. He does come with a stand, and I'll be the first to admit I have no idea how to work it. It's a very unique one, but we'll get him in his poses and his arms kind of just reaching out. Put him up in this crazy position here. Let's see. I haven't tried to stand him yet, so I don't even know if he will. He's a very big, big toy. I don't know if his feet are even in the same. No, they're not. Can they go down? Yeah. All right. That one did. All right, they don't look right. We gotta bring this leg up. There's a lot going on here with his legs. I'll be the first to admit that as well. There is a lot to the legs here. It's hard for me to look at it and be like, what's right and what's wrong here. So we got that. You got to tilt the foot up. That's what's going on. Again, he is very, not hard to pose. He just has his own unique way of doing it. And unfortunately, there are no peg holes in his feet at all, so you really can't even put him on like a base stand like that. So you'd have to get one of the actual figure stands. But his feet are super tiny. He might not be a figure that stands. Aha, we get it. We can get it. We can get it. We can get it. If not, it's a fail. Oh man, he's tough. He's tough, baby, but we're going to try it. Because we need to see, for the viewers, if it can stand. Oh, we did it! Woo! We got the big guy to stand, folks. There it is. Look at him. He's huge. Absolute beast of a figure. So you could just see with me tinkering around with that and having a little bit of a struggle that it is literally a typical toy. It's not going to be bread and butter and smooth like that, but look at this. There is the head mold that I'm going with, where it's got the blood on it. I don't know how well you can see it, but let's actually do something like that. Turn this light off. And you can actually move this mouth up and down. He's gonna fall. We should have left him. Oh well, it's fun. But we'll take a little bit of closer look at some of the cool details on him. One of the things that I really do like is when you take the head off of him. I'm not gonna do it right now, but when you pop the head off, these pieces here, like his fur around his neck, are actually two separate pieces that you. It looks dumb when you take it off, so you'd want to leave them on. But it's nice that they're, they're pliable. You can move them around to get different head poses. It fills out that neck really, really well. I'm a big fan of that. I mean, you can get some really great looks. Again, his mouth is posable. All the jaws are kind of cockeyed, so it looks a little weird in person. But I went with these hands on this one. These hands are a little bit meatier, a little bit bigger and beefier, and got a little bit more detail and character to them. I am noticing in his arm, though, when I bend it, it doesn't want to go in all the way, or go all the way because of the molding here. I don't know if that's something, maybe I can just kind of cut that plastic so I can bend his arm, because I can't really get much function out of it. But I got him because he was part of a free deal, and I like American Werewolf. I like American Werewolf in London. I like the Howling quite a bit, and I love werewolves, so of course I'm going to get this. Look at that. Bloody disgusting. This is one heck of a toy. I'm going to pause this for a second. Yo, that's wild. Look at the size of him compared to like a 7-inch NECA figure. Holy cow, dude. He's one of the biggest figures I definitely own. I've got a Juggernaut that I want to compare him to and put a wolf against the Juggernaut, but there he is with Michelangelo. Look at that. Look at it. It looks so sick. Look at me get a picture. Cha-chink. Absolutely love it. Can we get him to spin without falling over? I think we got him in the ultimate. No! We don't have him in the ultimate position. Son of a gun. I can't ever spin this. I don't know why I have a turntable. I really don't. Let's get him right back up in his spot. Of course, he's now not going to stand. There we go. But I do want to put him next to... Where did I put him? Up here. Kind of get him next to a Casey Jones. Seeing what, we'll do it like that. Like he's going to try to fight him. Yeah, right, Casey. Looks like Casey Jones' butt crack goes all the way up his back. Look at that. You would stand not a chance, my guy. But what kind of beast, what kind of evil person would mutate an innocent person into a werewolf? Well, only one. The Shredder and his new henchman, Razor. Yeah, right. That's awesome, though, right? Abso-freaking-lutely. This is one badass werewolf action figure. Definitely something I needed for my personal collection. And this has been the double creature feature of Aces Thrills and Chills night number 23 movie review of The Howling, alongside an unboxing and a review of the NECA's Ultimate Werewolf action figure from the same movie, The Howling. Awesome, awesome stuff here. If you guys have enjoyed this video, which I hope you have, please like and subscribe for more. I'm definitely never going to go away, because why would I? This has been a really good video. Really fun time. Awesome, awesome stuff. Get you out and get you a werewolf if you need it. If you don't, oh well, it still exists. And we will catch you all in the next one.